Okay, good evening, and I apologize for the poor sound. The machine I'm using, I'm very sure you might not hear me very loudly. So you may need to turn up the speakers on your machines to the very end. Okay, and let's manage it. If you can hear me very well, then so be it. Can I get a sign that can be heard somehow?
Yeah, Prof, we can hear you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So today we are going to talk about deficiency anemia. And if time permits, we will look at some red cell structure and how they affect different shapes and sizes of red cells. So the definition of anemia will be just like we have been saying it for the other types. So I won't be too much long. Then we do what therefore is deficiency anemia, classification of deficiency anemia, causes of deficiency anemia, etiology. Then we go to the different types: iron deficiency, vitamin B12, folate, erythropoietin, and this is CPD. Okay. So in terms of anemia, we say that any situation where the total number of red cells is reduced, or the cell's hemoglobin content is reduced, or the packed cell volume is reduced, it be termed as anemia. And by this, we are looking at hemoglobin of less than 11 grams or total white cell count of less than 4 times 10 to the power 12. And the deficiency can be absolute or relative. In absolute, we are saying that the different that we mentioned, the 3 things, are all reduced. So hemoglobin is reduced, red cell count is reduced, packed cell volume. But sometimes you will see that the number of red cells may be normal, but hemoglobin is less. That is relative reduction. So there is relative deficiency in hemoglobin when the other measurements are normal, but hemoglobin is reduced. And when all the other parameters are also reduced, then the reduction in hemoglobin is said to be absolute. The causes of this reduction may be due to decreased red cell production or production of abnormal cells of hemoglobin or increased loss. So sometimes the production is normal, but the loss of the red cells are increased. So there is hemorrhage and red cell is draining out of you far more than you are replacing them. That will lead to a decrease in number. So the causes of this reduction can be put into these 3 categories. If we look at this picture, you can see it. We are over here on the left. The red cells are quite big in number. On the right side, they are very reduced in number. And so that is a typical anemic red cell, and that is a normal red cell population. So how then do you define deficiency anemia? They are the anemias that are caused by the decrease or deficiency of components, that is key, that are needed to produce adequate and functional red cells. So the components, the ingredients needed to produce a good number of red cells and a good functional red cells, if they are reduced or deficient, then only anemia as a result is termed as deficiency anemia. And of course, the loss or the deficiency in the lead to reduction in the total number of red cells, and you will say that total number of red cell reduction or reduce is a sign of anemia, or decreased hemoglobin content, and this will then lead to absolute or relative hemoglobin deficiency, like we saw. So what are these components that are deficient or become deficient for us to call it deficiency anemia? And that is nutritional deficiency. Number one, vitamin B12 is one of the nutrients. Folate, or integrated form folic acid. If any of these nutritional components are missing or are deficient, then it is likely to lead to anemia. And so if it is vitamin B12, we say vitamin B12 deficiency anemia or folate deficiency anemia. Usually B12 and folate are joined together. Then we all know iron deficiency anemia. It can also be hormonal deficiency. And if it's hormonal deficiency, the hormone needed for red cell production is a little potent, and you have erythropoietin deficiency anemia. I didn't mention the enzymes here, but they will come through as we go along, that are also going to be deficient, so we have the CPD deficiency anemia as well. So if we decrease in these components, or it leads to defect reduction. And the defect is what? Quantity. So the number of red cells are reduced, or quality of the red cells are not there. So the number one situation that is megaloblastic anemia. And megaloblastic anemia are known to be associated with macrocytic blood picture, that is red blood cells that are bigger, and megaloblast, young, large red cells in the bone marrow during erythropoiesis. And what happens in this situation is that there is deficiency in vitamin B12 and or folate, and that leads to the megaloblastic picture when this anemia comes into play. And the number one issue, of course, is that there is nutritional deficiency of vitamin B12 or folate, or combined deficiency. And this happens mostly in developing countries. The other part that can also be deficient is intrinsic factor. Intrinsic factor is required for the absorption of vitamin B12. So even if you have normal amount of vitamin B12 in the food, and you are not producing intrinsic factor, you are going to have very little vitamin B12 absorbed, and therefore you will need vitamin B12 deficiency anemia as a result of lack of intrinsic factor is termed as pernicious anemia. And so pernicious anemia is a form of megaloblastic anemia or vitamin B12 deficiency anemia as a result of intrinsic factor. So in this case, the food contains enough vitamin B12, but they are not into circulation. And why do we get this megaloblast cells or megaloblast in there? It starts with the use of the vitamin B12 during DNA synthesis in the cell development. So from the G1, all this one is the interface. up to the mitosis stage. And so from G1 to S is the synthesis stage. During this stage, that is where DNA is synthesized. And then the cell then differentiates into the G2 stage, and then it goes into the mitosis where the two daughter cells are created. So what happened in this cell is that because the DNA failed to be synthesized adequately due to the lack of vitamin B12, the cell growth is arrested at G2, and it doesn't go on to divide into two young cells, so it remains as a large cell, and the growth is arrested. So DNA synthesis characterized by distinctive abnormality in the protein precursors in the bone marrow, where the maturation of the nucleus is delayed relative to that of the cytoplasm, and the cell remains, and the galloblasts large enough. And as we've been saying, the cause is B12 deficiency. And number one cause of B12 deficiency is inadequate dietary intake. And we see these in people who are strict vegetarians, where they don't take any animal-based food, or young infants who are being breastfed. We can have a program with enough vitamin B12. Then another reason is malabsorption. So it may not be that there is inadequate in the diet. There is enough in the diet, but they are not being absorbed. And the malabsorption have gastric causes and has intestinal causes. Let's speak to that. The gastric causes are mentioned pernicious anemia. Gastric is the stomach. There are parietal cells in the stomach that secrete intrinsic factor. If these parietal cells are under attack due to congenital causes or autoantibodies, then they will not release the vitamin B12 binding factor, which is the intrinsic factor. And so, even though you have enough in the food, there is no proper absorption of it. Or each person has have some of your stomach removed, gastrectomy, either full gastrectomy or a partial gastrectomy. Either way, no intrinsic factor will be synthesized. Then we have intestinal causes. When the intrinsic factor binds to the B12, they are absorbed at the ileum section of the intestine. So if there is ileal resection where the ileum has been cut off, or chronic disease or intestinal blind loop syndrome, this stage one infestation in all these cases, absorption is affected. So it may not be that so like I said, when the vitamin B12 enters the body in the stomach, it binds with intrinsic factor. This is made by the stomach mucosa cell or the parietal cell. They are then absorbed in the last part of the small intestine, the ileum. And in the majority of cases of megaloblastic anemia, what we have found is that the body's immune system destroys, attack and destroy the stomach parietal cell. So there's an autoimmune disease. Pernicious anemia can be autoimmune disease, whereby autoantibodies destroy the stomach parietal cell. IF can no longer then be made, and vitamin B12 cannot be absorbed. So we then get B12 deficiency caused by lack of intrinsic factor in stomach secretion, or deficiency caused by surgery that removes or bypass the end of the small intestine at the ileum where they are absorbed. If the ileum has been researched and bypassed, cut off or something, then B12 will not be absorbed. So you see the inability to make intrinsic factor may also be other sources, other problems. So we talked about the antibody. Chronic gastritis can also be the cause. I've already mentioned respiratory, and then autoimmune condition, which is obstruction of the liver cell diaphragm. So these can be the reason why the person is not sympathizing in case of the okay. The other deficiency is to vitamin B9, folate. So that can also be as a result of inadequate dietary intake. In alcoholics, teenagers, infants, old age, and others. People so range in the alcoholic state that they feel forget to even eat. They take a very little food. Teenagers eat on the go, they eat fast food. So they don't normally have time to get balanced food. You can see that infants, breastfed infants, and have it because it's not enough in the breast. Old age people, people who have grown to a certain age and they cannot afford to go to the shop to get food for themselves, or they don't have enough to get food for themselves, they also be affected. And of course, the lack of money or resources, poverty, can affect the person's one access to food that contains enough oil. Folate also have absorption problem. Tropical stool, malaria disease, partial gastrectomy, vaginal resection, chronic disease, have all had a negative effect on the absorption of folate. The other one is excess demand. In some instances, the body needs more than can be given. So in physiological states such as pregnancy, lactation, or infancy, infant need more. During lactation, the mother needs more than infant also needs. During these instances, the demand is so high that you tend to have lack of then pathological malignancy, increase in vertigosis, chronic respiratory skin disorders. Under these conditions, you need more folate. Excess urinary folate loss, example, inactive liver. Excess urinary folate loss. The liver is supposed to store folate, and sometimes maybe to do so. And the situation will be that there will be a loss to the urine. That way, we go into section. What is the difference between folate and folic acid? That's the question. Any takers? What's the difference between folate and folic acid? Okay, folic acid is synthetic for folate. So the one we buy in the pharmacy shop is folic acid, and the synthetic version of the folate is the one in the natural form. And of course, lack of them or lack of it in mixed with the plastic. Symptoms of folic acid deficiency include fatigue, mouth sores, gray hair, swelling, tongue, poor growth, also among the chief symptoms of malnutrition as well. Of course, malnutrition can lead to folic deficiency. We got some medicine. And in the laboratory, the cells appears larger than normal, so macrocytic cell. For plastic anemia, you will see macrocytic cell. In the normal blood, you will see the size of it. So this is almost twice as large as this one. And in the bone marrow, you see megaloblasts. and there is a monoblast here. The bone marrow iron level is normal, and the megaloblastic anemia iron level is increased, and it's because the synthesis has reduced, so iron is not efficiently used. The level of iron is increased. This is the picture you see. Also, in the normal blood cell, you see hypersegmented literature. You see hereditary body, you see vascular segment, you see carbon ring, and then the macrocytosis, larger red cells than normal. Yeah, that large. Then in the bone marrow, you see myeloid cells and megaloblasts in the bone marrow. So again, if we make a blood cell, we see general hemosiderosis. As a result of this integration of red cells, the iron deposits can be seen. When there are fatty changes in the parenchyma of the man as because there's hypoxia. The red cells are larger, they lack good numbers, and so they don't deliver good oxygen to the tissue. So you see hypoxia. And there are major changes in the bone marrow GI nervous system. The tongue becomes shiny, raised, and beefy. And it's because there's atrophy of the glossite, which is lost on the papilla. The invaginations on the tongue is missing. And then the stomach, the mucosa is thin. In fact, these things are usually seen in the pathology. It's not inside. Mucosa is thin, plain, blunt, but ileum is atrophied. This thing is leading to sclerosis. Okay, so this is the picture of the tongue. No picture on this one. Okay, and it's glossy. You see the shiny part of it. Shiny here. Yeah. Then when you check the stomach, the normal stomach will have the gastric ureter well lined in the stomach. And then pernicious anemia person, the ureter cells have been depleted. Remember, it's five. As I mentioned, pernicious anemia is also a megaloblastic anemia, so you can see here quite large red cells in here. And they lack even the central pillar, like here, a little bit is in the most of the cells don't even have the central pillar. Good. So that is that for vitamin B12 and folate deficiency. Do you have any question before I move on to iron deficiency? All right, then move on to iron deficiency anemia. And even though there is no known excretion method for iron in the body or excretion mechanism for iron deficiency happens to be the most common form of malnutrition that affects more than 2 billion people. Interesting. And it develops when the supply of iron is inadequate as to compensate for the amount the body needs to produce hemoglobin. So, iron deficiency is said to be detected late, and it happens, and it is because the iron balance in the body is covered by mobilization of iron from tissue stores. to maintain the hemoglobin. And so it's only after all the tissue stores of iron are exhausted that the supply of iron to the bone marrow becomes insufficient for the hemoglobin formation and the state of iron deficiency anemia. So when the person is showing iron deficiency anemia, they will have essentially depleted all iron cells in the body before they will show. So what is the cause? Increased blood loss. So when red blood cells is lost through the, for example, excessive menstruation or post-menopausal uterine bleeding, the blood cells are lost out of the body. So the iron in them are not recycled. You don't get a chance to recycle the iron. That's one video of using iron in the body. Then we have gastrointestinal blood loss due to peptic ulcer, where infestation, cancer of stomach, and large bowel, electric hernia, sometimes part of the stomach protrude through the diaphragm and come out. That causes the loss of blood. Chronic aspirin injection, aspirin is blood thinner, and as we continue to take it out, pain and lose blood easily. Then we have respiratory around. Then the renal tract loss. So in this way, you see the blood delay and liquid in the urine. Urea and urea. Then epistaxis, the treatment epistaxis, use bleed, leading through the lungs. So there are people who even understand the bleed in the urine. Some of these people may be lack of platelets, either lack of platelets or not, you are losing blood after the blood. Lungs, in the trach system, and we cough out blood, we are also losing iron. Then increase requirement. During childhood or adolescence, children grow in spats, and you see them today, they are this size, the next couple of weeks they are just children. So they need more of this food. Then because of that, they lack iron. Then prematurity, pregnancy, and lactation, all causes increased demand for iron. Then the third one is inadequate dietary intake. So another cause is that you are not putting enough into your body. Poor economic status, or because you don't have so much access to food or proper nutrition, you are not putting enough iron. Then anorexia. Anorexia is the forcer people who hate food, or one pitacetin, and the woman loses the appetite, they don't eat enough, and they do not have enough. And any elderly individual due to poor digestion, they cannot chew the food to break it down, or they are so old that they develop appetite towards food, as well as have financial constraints. Such people also lack iron. Then number 4 for iron is decreased absorption. So here there is partial or total gastritis. The stomach have all of it is reduced. They will not absorb iron. Such people. Then we have alcoholia. Lack of HCl, no amount of food, and the reason is that HCl enhances iron absorption. So if you don't have enough in your stomach, you will not absorb enough. Then we have intestinal malabsorption, such as celiac disease. Okay. What is the clinical features to iron deficiency? Generally slow. I mentioned that it takes a lot of time for the tissue stores of iron to be depleted. And then iron deficiency shows up. It develops slowly. The usual symptoms are weakness, fatigue, dyspnea, and ingestion, so struggling to breathe and a little pressure practice. Color of the skin, mucous membranes on the eye. Older patients with blood angina and congestive cardiac failure. Then you have neuralgia, which is a common symptom of iron deficiency. Of course, before they are losing the simple drive, we have to why they become iron deficient. In peripheral blood, you see red cells that are clear, but there is not so much hemoglobin in them. The central pillar is larger than normal, and the cells are small as well. So iron deficiency is characterized by apoptotic microcytic cell. And in the bone marrow, because there isn't enough in the blood and there is tissue hypoxia, the bone marrow is stimulated to produce more. So you see hyperplasia of pneumoblast in the bone marrow, trying to produce more and this should be associated with postglioblast and the absence of stable iron in the reticular nuclear cell. The reticular nuclear cells are macrophage types and involve giant red cell, old red cell. And when they disintegrate them in the macrophage, they put the iron. So you can stain macrophages for iron to know whether the person has enough iron or not. And in this case, when you stain macrophage, you won't see much iron deficiency. Okay. And the peculiar tissue changes that long-standing chronic iron deficiency causes peculiar tissue changes in some patients. If the changes occur in the nails, so you have small-shaped nails, atrophied bursitis, atrophic bursitis will be tongue becomes atrophied. The mouth, there's angular stomatitis, and the esophagus causing difficulty in swallowing because some tissues called membranous webs are developed in the esophagus when the person has problems in swallowing. The blood film, you see that the cells here are smaller than the normal cells. So for us in the megaloblastic anemia, the cell was 2 times the normal red cell. In the microcytic anemia, the cell is 2 times less than the normal red cell. And we see normoblast and normoblast. The cell small. And of course, if you do iron staining, iron will be deficient in the bone marrow. Okay. Yeah, then we have macronormoblast. You have myeloid cells. Oh yeah. All right, so you have the cells here, and then that is the bone marrow, and this is the peripheral side, side. And look at the large center pillar. There's very little hemoglobin in the center of the cell. Another one here. Almost the entire section of the cell have no hemoglobin, no skin. This is the spoon nail. So the nail turn upwards, like the spoon. The sclera is spitus, very little blood. Look at the hand of this person that's against that one. And the bursitis, tongue, largest swell. Great, so we keep going on. Anytime you have a question, please use the hand button, and then I'll start to answer you. Or put it in the chat. Now let's look at deficiencies. A little question. Hormone required for brachial development. There is a budget deficiency in the resources that have been met. It will use or it is out of the because the women are like, yes, are not producing something. On the fourth, we not, why we not, why we not, we quickly have to use that to give for education. So don't make the first of the kidney use that. It will not be produced. Then you have endocrine deficiency. When these electrolytes are reduced, they must be able to travel to the tissues where the rest of the disease. So when there are no signaling within the endocrine, the hormones don't travel. Starvation. If you remember, there are components synthesized in the kidney, so you still need some nutrients to synthesize them. And then in the retinopathy, there is, of course, reduced affinity, and during the retinopathy, usage of antibiotics may be effective. Sometimes the protein is produced, but bone marrow is not responding. So it still leads to lack of production. And deficiency state of iron that can lead to uncontrolled means that the other ingredients required to build the red cells are not right. So whether you can be, it's a protein from virus or what, so you have very little effect because we are only effective provided the other ingredients are good. And have anemia or chronic disease, so inflammation, infection, and malignancy in the bone marrow. Production of red cells. There is plastic anemia, pure red cells. If the red cells are not being produced based on whatever reason, then of course, whether you have a situation or not, it will not. Next is the BK6 phosphate deficiency. Because of the failure of these enzymes, there is lack of it, the failure to maintain energy pH and reduce the challenge too. And because of it, it reduces the biosynthesis and redox state. And generally results in the simply put, the red cells cannot withstand stress and so they accumulate. Okay. Open up with general principles of anemia. So anemia is a sign and not a disease. Anemia are dynamic process. It is never normal to be anemic. So you should aspire not to be anemic. This is kind of deficiency anemia. Of course, talking about even this is so much I am only in the mandate for that testing that at this point we will celebrate and we will tackle some the other part of the lecture, which is the red cell membrane and about 5 minutes break. About five one. We start at 5 6. So I'll be with you in Wow. I think they are calling back to the lecture. So, yeah, yeah. You are. Hello, fellas. I'm back. So, um, Mark, I'll call you. Tomorrow is likely to be online. Likely to be online. So, I'll confirm by half past seven. Since I'm told even the exam hall has been taken. So you have go to MD today, but it's most likely we have it online. Okay, right. Yeah, take about how easy campus and then morphological changes that we see. How does the membrane composition affect the morphological changes of the red cell? The red cell membrane is composed of the phospholipid bilayer, just like any other cell membrane. And within the phospholipid bilayer, there are different proteins and carbohydrates that are composed in that. The phospholipid, one phospholipid has one glycerol molecule, two fatty acid, and one phosphate group. And the structure causes hydrophilic and hydrophobic ridges. So the head or the phospholipid is turned inwards towards the cytoplasm, and there are liquid or fluid here. So the head hydrophilic, and the tail, which is hydrophobic, is turned inwards. And when you come to the extracellular, the head of the liquids are up here, hydrophilic, and the details that are hydrophobic are turned inwards. So you have the top layer and the down layer. That's the phospholipid layer, and then the second one, making it a bi-layer. So the red cell membrane typically comprises of this phospholipid bilayer, and this size can the lipid bilayer composed of cholesterol and phospholipid. These are in equal proportions according to weight. The lipid composition is important because it defines many physical properties such as how permeable is the membrane and how fluid is the membrane. So at some point I'll talk about the fluid mosaic membrane, which allow the red blood cell to change its shape so that if it gets into a tiny membrane such as the capillaries, it is able to still pass through that. But when it gets into a large vesicle, it enlarges itself and assumes its individual size. So these are the phospholipids that you can find. You have phospholipid that is telomerase, phospholipid that is serine, phospholipid that is purine, myelin, and sphingosine. And then the ones that are on the outer side are phospholipid that are purine and sphingomyelin. The ones on the inner side are phospholipid telomerase, phospholipid and so when the cell is about that, some of these greener membrane liquid can be seen on the outer. For example, when you see phospholipid that doing the outer layer, and indication that the cell is undergoing apoptosis. So the different phospholipids are kept within their domain if the cell has no defect. So here you can see the layered very well, and then you have the telic region, water lagging, and hydrophobic region. So in the middle here, these are transmembrane proteins, and they allow open channels to allow components to drift across. So things from the top, the cellular can enter into the intercellular section of the cell through this channel that they pass through. You have the ion channels, you have the sodium potassium being able to move across, things like that. So you see they have the phobic tail, and they have the phobic then the membrane has other carbohydrates and proteins on top of it. Some of them are receptors, some are docking sites, some are even antigenic, giving the red cell the antigenic determinant that makes them a prepared to be so we say that the proteins on the membrane are two of them, integral and peripheral. And the integral proteins insert into the membrane, so they are the transmembrane ones. They cross the membrane, and then the peripheral is attached to the surface only. They are not transmembrane. They are the ones that become antigenic. What is the function of this membrane? They allow transportation. They allow enzymes to move across. They serve as receptor sites receiving cytokine. We also have in cell adhesion. So when the cell needs to stop moving, they will help it to stick to the endothelium. And then they also attach to the cytoskeleton down here, causing the cell to be strong and hold up. So the fluid mosaic membrane model is that cell membranes are not static. They have a fluid consistency. So it's not fixed. Things, molecules drift across laterally across the membrane. Most lipids and proteins can drift about like that in the plane of the membrane. And cholesterol enhances the fluidity, allows the membranes to function in a wide range of temperatures, and also make the membrane less permeable to biological molecules. So it allows this membrane to hold its integrity to become malleable and permeable at the same time. So again, the function is regulates the movement of materials from one environment to the other, from extracellular into intercellular. Transport raw materials into the cell and waste materials out of the cell. Prevent the entry of unwanted matter and the escape of needed. And they maintain steady environment, so there is homeostasis effect happening. And what happened with these membrane proteins for us to have cells such as spherical and elliptical and whatnot? This is what happens. They are membrane proteins that are vertically encoding the cytoskeleton. In the cytoskeleton, you have the alpha spectrum and beta spectrum. And then the ankyrin puts onto the alpha and beta spectrum and is bound by band 3 and resource antigen here. And then also protein 4.2 and glycoprotein A, holding the membrane onto the cytoskeleton. So the membrane, the bilayer is hooked to this protein and is hooked to the cytoskeleton. If there is a defect here and this protein caves in, this side of the membrane will also cave in and it will shorten the membrane length, allowing the cell to resume a differentiation. Then on the lateral side, you have protein 4.1R here and protein P55, and you have adenosine dermatitis. tropomyosin, actin protofilament, and then tropomodulin. All these proteins hold the membrane through the GPC. If this slips off and the GPC drops in, the membrane will change, and the change will cause the cell to assume a different shape. So any congenital condition that causes somebody to have defect in any of these proteins may result in them developing different shaped red cell because of the defect in the cytoskeleton. Okay, so in the vertical instance, we say the membrane defect is in the hemolytic, the spherical cell. They affect the vertical interaction. Hereditary spherocytosis affect the vertical interaction, anchoring the membrane skeleton to the lipid bilayer, to the vertical skeleton, okay, for interaction that anchors the membrane to the skeleton is affected. The deficiency in only one of the protein components that are assembled here, involved in the anchoring process, may lead to hereditary spherocytosis. Okay? Then, hereditary erythrocytosis is the lateral. That's the PC protein was here. So the lateral defect, the lateral interaction of the membrane skeleton is a weakening of the lateral interaction due to defects in either alpha spectrum or beta spectrum, resulting in reduced ability to spectrum dimer-dimer interaction or defects in protein 4.1R, leading to reduced ability of spectrum acting protein 4.1R benchmark complex, leads to hereditary erythema. So in disease, abnormality in red cell picture stem from four main causes. Either there is abnormal erythropoietin that is reduction, may be infected or inadequate inflammation, or damage to protein affecting the red cell after the bone marrow or attempts that bone marrow is affected. The abnormal erythropoietin is partly linked to the structure that we saw. So when there is abnormal symptoms of production of red cell, the structure may be affected as well. Okay. So do this lead to abnormalities in red cell? So there is increase in variation inside for administration, or the variation in the shape of the red cell. Some are forming a lymphocyte, some are spherical, some are oval. So it's very difficult. Then the during the staining, you will see whether it is not hemoglobin enough, then you have the normal prognosia, but when there isn't enough, you have hypoprognosia or initial prognosia or dimorphism. So spherocytosis, there is irregular contraction, then the presence of abnormal body to daily body from variable number of spherocytes. We see target cells, appendicitis, and spherocytes. We know these conditions. Then signs of immaturity is that you see polyplosia and erythroblastemia, young red cells in the blood. Okay. So when the red cell shapes are affected due to one condition or the other, these are what So you're going to see some of the different relationships in different conditions. And we have the hemoglobin forming the fluid cycloids and crystallizing out of the cell, forcing the cell to sickle and form a rigid sheet that traps blood in the vessels and doesn't allow blood flow to take place. So a sickle sheet vessel found in the because disease. Then we have apochromatic red cell, very little hemoglobin, they are not staying well. We have the thalassemia, which is well. Then we have spherocytosis. So in this case, red cells are more spherical. They lack the central pillar, so you don't see central pillar like here, but they are more spherical. And you see that when the blood forms is changed. These conditions or this type of cells are seen in hereditary spherocytosis, immune hemolytic anemia, Z syndrome, might and hemolytic anemia. And what is happening to the cells? I've already mentioned the defects in the membrane structure that causes these cells to form the shape that we have formed. And one of the things that can happen is release of microvesicles. Look at the size of the sky. When they release microvesicles, the membrane is shortened. Membrane is shortened because the microvesicles back off the membrane. And when the membrane is shortened, eventually around the cell, spherical. These cells, when they get into the spleen, they are trapped and they don't come back out. So microspherocytes are trapped in the spleen and they are removed via macrophages. And the constant removal of these cells will lead to anemia. So you have elliptocytes. The cells are elliptical. They are oval or elliptical in shape, long as this is tried, some long as this is tried, long as this is tried. They are found in hereditary elliptocytosis, megaloblastic anemia, iron deficiency anemia, thalassemia, and myelofibrosis. The ovalocytes, they are elongate. You have stoma in the cell. The stomach on the cell, even though you have stomatocytes, you go there. Some ovalocytes also have the stomach across, but they are more oval in shape. And these are found in hemolytic anemias, thalassemias, and hereditary erythrocytosis. Then we have, yes, the stomatocytosis. So the red cells with a central linear slit or stomach, they seen as muff-shaped in peripheral. This is the stomach right there. They are found in alcohol excess, alcoholic liver disease, hereditary spherocytosis, hereditary stomatocytosis, including some found in rare disease of altered expression of rhesus antigen, rhesus 30, which is an epitope and a subtype variant of rhesus antigen. You're now going to see variations in size, shape, staining. And the first one is the mesocytosis. It's an increase in the variability of red cell size. So let me look at this from small, medium, large, younger, all sizes. Last one set showing picture of mesocytosis. So variation in erythrocyte size is measured by the red cell distribution width And the RDW should be taken into account when interpreting the new corpuscular volume of this type of flux. Then you have the teardrops, red cells shaped like a teardrop or a pear. It's found in bone marrow fibrosis, megaloblastic anemia, iron deficiency, anemia, iron. And then we have penny cells shaped like red cells. The red cells are shaped like pencil or cigar. We have 1, 2, and 3. And this is found in iron deficiency. Macrocytosis, increase in the size of red cells. The red cells are larger than 9 microns in diameter. They may be round or oval in shape. Their initial significance is different. These are found in B12, folate deficiency. I think we saw that earlier about megaloblast. Then we have alcoholism, liver disease, and reticulocytosis. Because there is anemia, reticulocytes may be seen in the patient. And iron deficiency, like microcytosis. The red cells are smaller than 7 microns in diameter instead of the normal 9. The nucleus, they look like the nucleus of a small lymphocyte, which is even 8 microns. They are even less than that. But we can use the nucleus of small lymphocytes as a useful guide, the size of the lesson. The reaching winding. This is human life. Iron deficiency, thalassemia, plastic anemia, blood poisoning, and anemia of chronic diseases. Then we have acanthocytosis, spherical cells with 2 to 25 of vermiculate length. So acanthocytes, there are sparkles and the red cell. And we found in liver disease. After splenectomy, the spleen has been removed. Because the spleen was there, it will remove cells like it. They go in there and they don't come back. And when you see cells like this, it's likely the spleen functioning or it's not there. We also see it in anorexia nervosa and starvation. These people are starving themselves by choice. They have food, but they hate it. They don't want to eat. Anorexia nervosa people. But some people starve because they don't have it. We tend to see acanthocytes in them. Then achinocytes, the red cells are covered with 10 to 30 short spikes of regular form. Found it in uremia when there is too much urea in the blood, severe burns, always production. Severe burns, usually active. Then fragmentation of red cells shifts to sides. In hemolysis, where the red cells are breaking down, you can see schistocytes, that is fragmented red cells. We found in disseminated intravascular coagulation, macroangiopathic condition, hemolytic anemia, mechanical hemolytic anemia. Mechanical hemolytic anemia, you may recall that certain people have metal clips inserted into their heart valve area. They open the heart up. The rest of us will not be hard by to have this condition, and the reason for that is that the chemical now we apply the chemical so I think we will So we have practiced out. We also have an area of interesting with the center. So these are the target will be problem target itself. The center player is there, but then there is a track somewhere at the found in obstructive liver disease, severe iron deficiency, thalassemia, hemoglobinopathies, and post-splenectomy. We have jolly bodies. We have small round cytoplasmic resting inclusion with the same staining characteristics as nucleus. We have found post-splenectomy. During information, cells are bound back together. That was best when there is too much fibrinogen in the blood or globulin, we tend to make the cells sicker. This fibrinogen and globulin reduces the heater potential between the different cells and the first them to get stuck together. And you can see it on the blood spread. This usually, besides the hyperfibrinogen and hyperfibrinogen, we will see if the cell is too old as well, something like that on the screen. And then red cells become agglutinated, irregular counts of red cells are formed. We have cold agglutinate, warm autoimmune hemolysis. The red cells come together and become. Then we have phagocytosis red cell. The infection or autoimmune hemolytic anemia situation. When there is incompatible that mutation, some neutrophils tend to phagocytose red cell. So this is a neutrophil animal red cell and new salted plasma. So this phagocytose red cells. Red cell in vacuole in the cytoplasm of the neutrophil. Okay, and then we have polychromasia, where the staining is not uniform. So red cells stain shades of blue and gray. Why? Because there's an uptake of both fusion and the basic dye, the nucleon blue. So the cell is taking the basic dye because there's a residual RNA. It's almost like reticulous cell. All the RNA have not gotten out. So the cells in both in of the same material we have the offense likely added that normal red cells are found in here and round shaped cells, so round macrocytes. They are found in situation with reticulocytosis, or somebody giving a cystine to respond to the maternal particular. These are malaria the always inclusion blood for you that looked at and you need blood are likely to come across them they must be reported. So we have the actual form of the trophozoites over there. And then we have the gametocyte inside red blood cell and free gametocyte. The red cell and the story. Yeah, and ask for questions Comments. For our items. Yeah. Good girl. Yes, you can go ahead. But you are not muted, but I can hear you. Can you hear me? Go ahead with your questions.
Yes, please. I'm passing a comment. I'm passing a comment, sir. Sir, during the lectures, we could personally, I could hardly hear. I could hardly hear, and the slides were moving very fast, as well as the explanation. But the clarity, was something else. Sir. The clarity, as in the voice, please.
Okay, muted. Can you unmute? The little I heard was the fact that you couldn't hear me well, and also the slides were moving fast. And I would say that you should have prompted me then. If a lecture is going on and you have a challenge, please don't wait for the whole thing and then you say you here. Then you need to have wasted your time. So if you are not hearing, then you have to fix it. Put it in the chat area, whatever difficulty you are having during the lecture. You are free to watch. You put it in the chat area or raise your hand and say it. Before I started the lecture, I mentioned that I'm using a desktop computer that the sound isn't going to be so clear. And so that was the disclaimer. And I asked people to use the volume of their gadgets to the highest level. And then I went on to ask if I could be heard. And two people said they could hear me. So then I went on. So if you came on and you couldn't hear, the least you could have done is put it in the chat that you can't hear. Because if I talk for 20 minutes and you didn't hear, then it didn't benefit you that. You know, maybe you were not on when I issued that disclaimer at the beginning. But either way, nothing stopped you from putting your challenge across. And that goes to the class. If during the lecture with me or with anybody else, you have a challenge of hearing, you have the challenge of feeling that the lecture is moving too fast for you, you just have to say it. You can do the private chat to the lecturer and then you see it. Or put it for the general domain, please. Do not wait for the lecture to finish before you talk about the chat. We wouldn't have you already done that. Okay? Any other concern? Okay. Right. So if there is no question or concern, coordinator, can I end here today?
Okay. If there is nothing more, we can end here.
Okay. All right. Please give me a prompt like you did today, so that from look after the contribute to the side. Okay, so have a good evening, gentlemen and ladies. I'll be again.
Thank you, sir. Yes, evening. Yes, please.
Mommy,
Mm,
I should send it to you.
mm.